So, first we have a resolution of proclamation for National Principals Month. So may I have the following motion? Whereas schools inspire the next generation of professionals, political leaders, artists, educators, and others who contribute to a healthy and prosperous society. And whereas principals and assistant principals are responsible for providing instructional leadership and professional management in our schools. And whereas principals and assistant principals set the academic tone for their schools and work collaboratively with teachers to develop and maintain high curriculum standards, set performance goals and objectives, and ensure high-quality instruction. And whereas school principals and assistant principals are responsible for the safety of their students and staff and the security of the school. And whereas principals and assistant principals are key to implementing state and federal education reforms in New Jersey. Whereas the month of October 2017 has been declared National Principals Month and is dedicated to recognizing the significant contributions of our nation's principals and assistant principals and the enthusiasm they have for providing quality educational experiences and guidance to their students. And whereas the East Brunswick Board of Education recognizes and appreciates the skills, dedication, and commitment of its principals and assistant principals and the challenges they face daily. Now therefore be it resolved that the East Brunswick Board of Education recognizes and commends its principals and assistant principals for their continued service to our children.
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Becker, second by Mrs. Shaw. Is there any discussion? Mrs. Becker?
Yes, we do have the best principals and assistant principals and everything else in the state. To me, the key word in here, the key phrase was the challenges they face daily. I don't know how you all do it. Our world and lives have gotten so complicated, and the children who come into your buildings every day bring in all of these complications. And as social media makes our global community smaller every day, you have all the world's problems coming into your buildings every day. So besides being instructional leaders, administrators, liaison with parents, you're also dealing with all the complications of our crazy life in 2017. So I applaud each one of you for doing it every single day and standing outside and greeting parents, kids, staff with a smile, coming to our meetings and sitting there with smiles at the end of very long days. Thank you so much for the passion and energy and commitment to our children. Greatly appreciate it.
Mrs. Shaw?
In addition to that, I just want to say how interesting it is to look out in the audience and to see some relatively new faces among our principals. We certainly admire our more senior members.
Older.
And the mentoring that they can provide. But I just feel that it's really refreshing to see the kind of innovation that you're able to bring to our kids. New ideas, new methods. Wow, I just think it's a great time for our children here in East Brunswick. So thank you very much for your leadership.
Mrs. Lott?
All right, I'm going to be corny for a minute, though, because you guys are talking about all the academic side of it. I'm going to talk about the parental side of it. My favorite thing, because we all know what you guys do on an academic level, is how much the kids love you. I can't get over every time a child, especially on the elementary level, but even as you go up the ranks, sees their principal and how excited they get. You're rock stars. And I can't tell you the name of my principals from years and years and years ago, but I would bet that your students all remember you. And I know for the newer ones, we'll revisit this in 10 years, but I just think it's great. I think that they're always looking for opportunities to see you, and where you used to just be the disciplinary figure, you're now just so much more. And you know, as a parent, I appreciate that, because my kids come home and they're thrilled.
They are the boo-boo kissers too, right?
They
are. I thought so.
It's hard.
I was going to say, to Mrs. Lax's point, though, principals have changed.
A lot.
Because I remember my elementary principal, Mrs. Somerville, if she was coming down the hallway, you hid. You were nowhere near, and if you were in trouble, you had to sit on the bench outside of
the
the
your principal.
But it's very different. I think it's exactly as you've described today. Principals are the building. They are really the climate of the building, and the character of the building, and kids love you, and that's the way it should be. Mrs. Becker.
And I absolutely second and agree with everything Lori said, particularly at the elementary level. What impresses me at the secondary level is, one of my favorite parts of graduation is when the kids walk across the stage. Every other one of them hugs the principal. In this case, Dr. Vanella, who's been with us for many years, and we're fortunate to have him. You hug your principal as you're walking across the stage instead of walking by going, I never have to see you again. Parents often say that when you get into the secondary level in this district, unless your child gets in trouble or is a superstar, you never have any contact with your principal. I'm going to beg to differ, because there are a lot of kids walking across that stage that the principals know very well. And they didn't get in trouble, and they weren't superstars. They were just good kids who were at school every day, and they all know them. So it extends, you're absolutely right, that human element extends all the way up, and it's just great.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now, I have certificates, and they do not contain the building that each principal's at, so I'm going to see if I can figure that out all by myself.
Okay, there you go.
Okay?
I hope you do better than I did with the date of the celebrity dance.
like Sheffield.
Anybody has to do better. That was just flat wrong.
Okay. And it was written down for me,
Yes,
so
exactly.
let's see how you do.
Irwin's, Joanne Chmielewicz.
Yes.
Congratulations. Warnsdorfer's Joseph Satari, and I don't see
Joanne,
him.
why don't you just stay right up here with us?
I don't see Mr. Satari, so
No.
we'll get back with him. Central's Danielle Danino. Also.
That was kind of easy,
Okay, fine.
so I'm just saying.
Lawrence Brooks, Elizabeth Dunn.
Yeah.
Congratulations, those ones.
Hammershold's Dr. Mike Gaskell, also ED. He's not here. Memorials, Cheryl Jones.
Congratulations.
Val Monroe's Ron Lieberman. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Chittick's Megan Mineta.
Thanks
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Frost's Loretta Payette.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Churchill's Mark Suter. Not here. Dr. Michael Vanella, it has to be the high school.
Thanks, Mike. Congratulations. I commend you. You did better than I did.
Well,
Spread out.
and yours was written in front of
I
you.
know.
All right.
I'm going to balance
I
this
was gonna say,
out.
we're gonna have to spread out a little. Just hold your little.
Yeah, probably.
Like-
Tighter?
Oh, come in a little closer, she says.
All right, let's
We like
hug
each
Dr.
other.
Vanella.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank you
everybody.
very much. Thank
Wait, Victor, wait, one more.
Oh, yes, the fire marshal.
Yes, yes, yes. We have a resolution and proclamation for Fire Prevention Week, which is October 8th to the 14th. So may I have the following motion? Whereas according to the National Fire Protection Association, this year's Fire Prevention Week campaign is Every Second Counts, Plan 2 Ways Out. Whereas East Brunswick's first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education. And whereas committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living and visiting our town, including our educational community, the East Brunswick Public Schools welcomes the East Brunswick Fire and Emergency Services personnel into our schools to educate our students. Now therefore be it resolved, the East Brunswick Board of Education recognizes October 8th through 14th, 2017 as Fire Prevention Week and encourages all the people of East Brunswick to heed the important safety messages of Fire Prevention Week 2017 and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of East Brunswick's fire and emergency services. And be it further resolved that the East Brunswick Board of Education appreciates the efforts of East Brunswick's fire and emergency services personnel to make our community a safe place in which to live.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Shaw, second by Mrs. Becker. Any discussion? Mrs. Becker.
Thank you not only for what you do for our children by educating them about how to be safe, but what you do for the residents of East Brunswick. Some of you are volunteers. Some of you get a paycheck, but it's more than just a job. Without the risk of sounding dramatic, you put your lives on the lines. You run into a burning building to rescue people. You'll go into the middle of traffic to help out someone in an ambulance-needed situation, regardless of your own safety, because somebody's in trouble and they need help. So you keep us safe and secure. And that crazy world I was talking about a few minutes ago, it's nice to know that there is somebody on that wall watching out for our safety and security. Thank you so much for your dedication and for providing that.
Another story about my scary elementary school that I went to. In first grade, we saw a fire prevention movie. That was the only time we saw it in 12 years in that school. And I will never forget, and this, I take this, my kids learn it, it's the stop, drop, and roll. And just the prevention steps to take in your house, and that still lasts, 10 years ago that I was in first grade, and still. So I think that our kids listen when the message is delivered the right way.
Absolutely.
And they have an involvement, and they do projects and things,
Right.
so thank you.
Absolutely.
So
So we have John Talbot.
Yep.
And we have Andrew Koss.
Mr. Tom?
Thank you very much. Thank you very
All in
much, Andrew.
favor?
Thanks for being here.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Little procedural things we have to do. Laura? Thanks.
Thanks,
Well, thank you guys,
gentlemen.
thank the board and the principals and everyone, the staff that allows us to get into schools, and take the time with the classes. We go into kindergarten, assemblies, first through fifth grade, and the kids, they understand it. When we do in April with the fire safety trailer, we ask questions then, and they know the answers, because they've seen it each grade, so they're paying attention, they're getting it. So I want to thank you guys. Thank you very much.
I appreciate what you're doing. I've been in elementary schools recently, and they're preparing their posters,
Right.
and they are very competitive. I'm telling you, they are on it, so.
We get some really good, it's hard to judge
Yeah,
some of
I
them.
can imagine,
Yeah.
because I wouldn't want to be telling some of those students they didn't win.
Right. It's tough.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you
My
very much.
son's poster is still hanging in my house.
Susanna.